you know. And so, but they may be at home like really good, down-to-earth, good-hearted, clean-cut people. You know what I'm saying? You never know. You know, so, but we have been conditioned to feel and to think like right off the back, you know, like, oh, he's this type of person. There can't be anything positive that's going to come out of this show, you know. And that's the power of conditioning. That's the power of, you know, the media being, you know, repeatedly exposed to media like that. You know, it's almost like brainwashing, you know. Right. And we have to really be vigilant and careful about that as well, and really guard our own thoughts and our own perception, because we may be thinking things reflexively that may not even be a product of genuine analysis. You know, us really taking our time and analyzing something and thinking it through, and then making a determination of, you know what I'm saying, what we feel it is. But just off of reflex, we, you know, and our conditioning, we make a judgment, you know, and never really take the time to even really think it through or look and give it a real thorough analysis before we pass judgment, you know. So those things are important as well. You know, we have to guard our thoughts. We have to guard our minds and our thought processes, and make sure that we're not being hijacked by someone, you know, conditioning program, you know, which we know is going on. They do it through the television, through, you know, the radio programming, you know what I'm saying, radio and television programming. We're being conditioned, you know. That's why they call it programming. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
And you're being pre-programmed so that when they need to push that button on the remote control and get you to have a conditioned response to something, then you're going to do it. You know what I'm saying? You're going to, you're going to respond just the way they programmed you to respond, you know? So we have to really guard against that and really start learning how to be proactive and conscious thinkers, you know what I'm saying? Like, really consciously, you know, having thought processes, you know, rather than conditioned responses. We think we're thinking, but we're not really thinking. You know, we're kind of reacting with pre-programmed thoughts that someone gave us. We're not really analyzing things for ourselves, you know?
Right, right.
It's so subtle and so stealth that we don't even pick up on it. We don't even notice that we're not really thinking, and that the thoughts that we are, kind of considering within ourselves are things that may have been suggested by others. You know.
I'll tell you what, if everybody had got together and started looking at it, analyzing it, and saying, oh, shoot, so this could work, let me go and collect my other children that I haven't seen in a while. Let me go be a daddy. Let me go, find a way to, and I saw him, because if the show had kicked off, all the babies' mamas would have been paid. I'm just saying. So I'm like, okay, if we all had did that collectively and made that show kick off, they'd have canceled him in the first 6 months anyway. You wouldn't even have to worry about boycotting him, because they don't want anything to come out of anything for us that's positive like that. So, I say take your energy and go boycott something like cops who throw our people in the back of the truck and car and on the ground and, But anyway, I'm go ahead.
I feel you.
You okay? You want to boycott stuff? There you go. Boycott. There's a bunch of stuff you can boycott. But let me go ahead and pull this sister. I think I know who it is. She's been holding on for a long time. And then after her, we're going to go over to 786, and then we're going to Africa. Okay? So 414. 414.
Yes. Peace and love. Peace and love.
Peace.
Here the roundtable was a lot of topics y'all touching on, and everything is on point. I just wanted to, I guess you guys haven't really gotten into the meat of the whole topic yet.
Not yet.
I know. I'm just ready to kind of, hear your take on things, especially since you were in that culture. Because as you guys were speaking on the Shawty Low incident, that really is frowned upon with us. We feel like our people, for the most part, feel like a relationship should only be with one man, whatever the case may be, because that is culturally accepted here. So I'm just going to sit back and just listen in to you guys and kind of fill the conversation out and see what I might have to ask, because you guys haven't really gotten into that yet. So I don't want to jump the gun.
Well, don't be raising your hand and get ready.
I had my hand up because I had started it off, so I was just ready.
Okay, I'm gonna put you on hold.
And I love that libation song. Everybody is like saying like, okay, I want that song. So I was passing it around. I looked on your site and I didn't see it on Band. Yeah. I don't know if you guys. I didn't see it on Bandcamp.
Yeah, I would definitely, give my Bandcamp site on this program as well as my official website. You can get to it through my official website, which is easy.
Okay.
It's www.iamcrown.com. And it's got links to the Bandcamp and to SoundCloud and all of that stuff. So.
Okay, I got you.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to fall back for now. Peace and love.
Peace and love. We'll come back and check on you later. Let's go to Africa. Okay. So we're talking about polygamy. Now, you were telling me that let's talk about first the family you were living with over there, and where you first, when were you first introduced to polygamy in Africa?
Well, I mean, as you know, polygamy is like all throughout Africa. Like it's a common thing. It's very common. As soon as you get to Africa, you're going to encounter it. There's people who, according to, say for example, most of the African countries are Islamic, or majority Islamic nations. So like the one we were living in Gambia, is an Islamic nation, and according to Islam, you are, allowed to have up to 4 wives. Sometimes people take more than 4 wives. Some people take only 1 wife. Some people may take 2 wives. Some people may have 3, But, according to, the tradition, the Islamic traditions, you're allowed to have up to 4. And
is it the ones you can afford? Is it the ones that you can afford?
I mean, definitely. That's a, that is something that is really was advised by, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, that before taking a wife, that you need to be able to afford, that type of lifestyle and be able to take care of them and treat them fairly and justly, Yeah, and so that you find it, it's common in Africa. It's not, it's not a big deal. It's very common. And so, I saw a lot of that while I was over there, But even I was exposed to polygamy before I got to Africa, before I moved to Africa.
Let's go back.
Here in America, I had some friends who were, Hebrew Israelites, and they practice polygamy as well. And there was a kind of like a community, of people who were really, heavy into culture and things, and we were kind of immersed in that community, living and studying and, studying all types of things, all the world's, wisdom and religions and all this stuff. We were really pulling from all the different traditions, as far as studying yoga and studying the teachings of, of Islam and the Hebrew tradition and Bhagavad Gita and, you know, all of the great wisdom of the world. And so we were in kind of like a environment where that was like really encouraged, and you know, everyone was just really on that. You know, it was like a mecca, like living in Timbuktu or something like that, you know, just as far as like everyone around us was just really in pursuit of enlightenment and in pursuit of wisdom and knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And so some of the friends that I encountered in this community, the people that, you know, became very close with, they were practicing polygamy. And that's when I first encountered it and first really saw it firsthand, you know.
So you saw it working.
Yeah, I saw it working, definitely. But, you know, I saw the pros and the cons, the positive aspects and the, you know, the challenges as well that one may face on that path. And definitely it is it's not an easy path, especially here in America, because there's so much opposition against it, you know. And, you know, people who are born here in America who are trying to practice that, they just have to know that they're going to face a lot of opposition. They have to be very strong mentally and spiritually and emotionally, you know, before attempting something like that. Because most likely, even if they're someone who has, you know, encountered this way of life and is open to it and open to trying it, most likely, 9 times out of 10, their family members are not on that same vibe, you know.
Okay.
They're on a totally different path, you know, and have a totally different understanding of what marriage and family is supposed to be. And so, you know, when you encounter your old friends or family or people that you know, may have grown up with, and they find out that you are determined to travel that path, you know, you're going to face some opposition. They're probably going to share their opinions of what they think about it and may try to discourage you, and you know what I'm saying? I mean, but out of concern, you know, because they're concerned, they don't, you know, it's fear and it's their concern. They don't know what that is about because they've never experienced it. They've never been exposed to it because we're living in a, you know, Judeo-Christian society, you know. And so even though polygamy is a part of, you know, Hebrew culture, the Judean part of the Judeo-Christian word, you know. You know, polygamy is a part of that culture. And so when you read about the different prophets and things like that, you know, many of them had multiple wives, and they had, you know, these type of expanded views on what family is, you know. And I was going to say non-traditional views, but I mean, it depends on where you're at in the world because, you know, in most of the world, you know, probably more of the world practices polygamy than doesn't practice polygamy, you know. But because we're living in a part of the world that doesn't practice it, it's kind of hard to see that. But if you travel and to different countries and things, you'll see how common and how traditional, you know, the concept of polygamy actually is, you know. So it really, you know, depends upon where you are, you know, when you're saying traditional or non-traditional concepts, you know what I'm saying?